What makes Real Steel underrated isn't just its badass action scenes, followed with enough heart to make a grown man cry, or its use of representation with men's mental health, especially in today's world, which it so desperately needs. It's also just not its way of telling a story that feels gritty and real, but without being too dark for a kid to watch. And it's also not just the fact that there are performances that make the characters come to life in a very relatable and believable way. It's really, well, actually, those are some pretty good starting points. I rarely ever hear people talking about Real Steel, besides the occasional comments on an unrelated movie post that remind me that I wasn't the only person in the world to see this movie. Real Steel was a movie that came out in 2011, directed by Shawn Levy. Overall, it's a feel-good movie about an imperfect father who struggles with financial and parental issues as he participates in robot boxing. When I say he struggles with financial issues, I mean he really struggles. Like, the guy is terrible at managing money.
Why don't we make this more interesting? My bot against your bull straight up.
How much?
20 grand when it takes off.
20 grand. You got 20 grand,
I'll
Charlie.
save for my truck.
What separates this movie from the repeated slop we've been getting today is the love and care that went into the writing and development of its characters. Now, I'm not here saying it's Oscar-worthy writing or acting per se, but it's good enough that you feel immersed and you feel good when watching. And I'm not gonna hype it up like the movie's perfect or anything, but when compared to the garbage and cash grabs that we constantly get today, this movie is fantastic. Right off the bat, the movie pulls you into its main character, Charlie. The movie indirectly professes its love to you with its characters through its use of cinematography and patient editing. It's not super flashy or lazy feeling like someone is just trying to complete their homework. It's structured in a way where it gives you enough breathing room for its characters, while the performances, writing, and the story lets you fall in love with the characters on screen. You get introduced to Charlie and his issues with money pretty quickly into the film. You also see that he can kind of be a dick and a narcissist at times, especially when it comes to his neglect for his son Max. When spending time with the father and son on screen, you get the impression that the two are polar opposites at first. Although they both love robot boxing, Max thinks things out strategically and patiently, while Charlie strikes before he thinks things through. When the two suffer a punishing defeat at a fight, the two are left feeling defeated and on the search for another bot to help them make some of the debt that Charlie was in. After a life-threatening situation Max gets put in, they discover a robot who was directly responsible for saving Max's life. This is where we, as the audience, start to understand that Max and his father are more alike than what we've seen so far. That overconfident wit and stubbornness present in Charlie is present in Max as he presses Charlie to get their bot into a fight right off of taking him in. After surprisingly winning the first fight Charlie has won in a long time, this gives him and Max enough hope and confidence that they can start building themselves up again and getting that lost debt back. You start to see Charlie and Max's relationship grow as they spend time on the road together with their new bot. You really start to see Charlie's heart and fatherly side as he shows more of his protective and caring side with Max.
And I wasn't there and I should have been. I should have been.
Charlie is reminded of his paid contract that he forced upon Max's aunt and uncle when he sold Max for a large sum of money in the beginning of the film. What used to be a narcissistic and greedy man is now a convicted, caring, and repentant father as he denies the money that he originally asked for. After an incredible match with the strongest robot in the league, the match ends in a loss by the judges, but a win by the audience. This represents that even in life, happy endings aren't always something that comes literally, but through the fight to endure and carry on. Similarly, just as Charlie carried on and refused to give up on the fight and on himself, just as his son Max believed in him. Another thing I wanted to briefly talk about is how good and badass the effects and fight choreography is within the film. It's not a debate that CGI and effects peaked for most movies in the early 2010s, when movie companies actually tried to make art. Real Steel is one of those examples of a fantastic use of both practical and CGI effects to enhance the film and to make some of the coolest fights that will give you goosebumps as to how good they are. From the very beginning of the film to the very end, the movie wastes no time to show you that you are not only in for a good story, but just a good time. After previously rewatching the film, there were moments that I genuinely wasn't sure if it was actually CGI or if it was practical. After doing some research, I found out that the movie used a mix of both, which in my opinion is the best use of effects when it comes to filmmaking. Real Steel is often unrecognized by the mass film culture today and remains one of the most underrated films of all time. Its use of combining excellent forms of cinematography, editing, acting, writing, and directing prove it to be so. I hope this movie gets recognition for all its good it's done to the film industry and continues to help people and give people hope and the strength as it gave to me. My only fear is that with the more recognition this movie gets, the more of a chance that the people in this industry who are a poison to it will see their chance to milk it and destroy the film and what it stood for. But if we continue to represent and spread the good that this film stands for, maybe we have a chance to combat the evil that plagues this industry today.